Welcome to Energy Careers, a segment of the Energy Conversations podcast dedicated to exploring opportunities in the dynamic world of the energy sector. For 13 years, I've had the privilege of navigating this sector, and it has significantly shaped my professional and entrepreneurial journey. Join me as we uncover exciting pathways for those interested in making their mark in this exciting sector. Let's dive in. Welcome to another episode of the Energy Careers segment, a bi-weekly segment that intends highlighting opportunities for young people looking to participate in the energy sector. In this week's episode, we are joined by three experts who will be sharing their energy journey: Dr. Nandi Malumbazo, Paul Eardley-Taylor, and Dr. Lars Schernikau. Dr. Nandi, I would like to start with you. Please share your energy journey. How did you get involved in the energy sector? What did you study? And what has been your career path up to this point?
My career journey, with my first degree, my major courses were chemistry and biochemistry. And then I obtained a BSc in that from the University of the Western Cape. And then I proceeded majoring with chemistry for honors. And then for my master's at the same university. So for master's, then I did organometallics chemistry, which was a SASO-funded project, whereby we're actually trying to look at the catalysts that are being used to convert on that Fischer-Tropsch process of SASO. And then thereafter, I came to WITS, the School of Chemical and Metallurgical Engineering, whereby I did my PhD now in coal, whereby then I was also looking at, their coal to gasification process as to what's happening with coal, with the structure of coal inside a gasifier, inside a SASO gasifier. So trying to analyze the structure of coal, how does it transition from coal itself to char, then from char to ash structurally now. That is basic science. Then thereafter, I graduated my PhD in 2008. No, I started my PhD in 2008. I completed in 2010, which means I graduated 2011. Then immediately, immediately after 2010, when I finished my PhD, then I became a postgraduate researcher at CSIR, looking at then your clean coal technologies, your fluidized bed gasifier, your circulating fluidized bed gasifiers, different types of clean coal technologies, which is I only spent a year there. After a year, then I was employed at the Council for Geoscience, which now was a different ballgame altogether from the chemical engineering work that I was doing at the CSIR, then to a geological or to a geosciences, into a field of then geoscience, that's where then I learned the geological aspect and the mineral, the mining exploration, everything like the material, the commodity, what is it? Is it the commodity world of things? So from then CSIR to the Council for Geoscience, I spent almost 7 to 8 years at the Council for Geoscience, whereby then I was highly involved in coal-related projects. I established a coal lab there, so I was more into analyzing your coal, trying to understand different types of coals, as well as I was also involved in shale gas exploration, the Karo shale gas project that the country, I think the DMRE drilled on that project. I think 3 years back or 4 years back, I initiated such a project. And then after that, in 2020, then I decided to join academia. So, which does not mean that whilst I was at CSIR as well as the Council for Geoscience, I was ignoring that aspect. I was also highly involved in supervising students, in actually as well as publication. So I was also publishing some work when I was still with CSIR as well as with the Council for Geoscience, which made me to actually land into the academia world very easily or very comfortably, because I was actually used to the work that comes with academia. So I joined VETS in March 2020. And I've been with VETS since then. I joined the WBS in January 2022. So at WBS, then I'm a sessional lecturer for energy policy and regulation, but on a full-time basis with the School of Chemical and Metallurgical Engineering. So in essence, that's what I have been. So I've went from being a chemist to an engineer to a geoscientific person all at once. So that's how my career has been. I'm a very versatile person. So yeah, and now I'm on regulation, which is then I've combined the scientific background that I have on energy, on how to convert your coal to whether it's for gasification, which is your petroleum sector, or for combustion, which is your electricity sector. And now I'm actually also applying such into energy regulation, as well as influencing the policies of the country. I'm also a board member at Energy and Water SETA, as well as at National Nuclear Regulator. So yeah, it has been a journey.
Quite the journey, very, very, very educated, very, very educated. And I think what you're really highlighting is that academia, or the role that academia can really play in shaping policy and in shaping well-informed policy. And I think that given your entire experience from working to being in academia to now being actually able to inform regulation, it speaks of a very powerful journey, and I look forward to the outcomes of your contribution. Paul, if I could bring you in here, please could you share your energy journey? How did you get involved in the energy sector? What did you study, and what has been your career path up to this point?
My journey is not quite as long. Basically, by background, I had 10 and a half at HSBC, mainly doing electricity. Gradually over the years, I started to see in Africa. And then after a period of time, I moved over to Standard Bank. Over the years with Standard Bank, I initially had quite a wide-ranging role around all of energy and infrastructure. I then set up renewables for the bank between about 2010, 2012. And then since then, I've mainly focused on natural gas and upstream oil and refineries and downstream, which in the last few years has crystallized to more of a focus on natural gas and oil. So I've been privileged to work on a range of first-of-a-kind transactions in the Middle East, in Africa, and select global markets. And really what I would say to the listeners is the more aspects of energy that you're involved in, the better able you are to form opinions and judgments on what the most optimal form of energy mix is for any individual country on planet Earth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Dr. Lars, please share your energy journey. How did you get involved in the energy sector? What did you study, and what has been your career path up until this point?
Thank you. Well, I was very fortunate. I studied finance in the US and then got my MBA in France. And after MBA, I joined one of those larger strategy consulting firms, the Boston Consulting Group, for 6 years in the US and Germany. And then my parents have always been in the global raw material trade business. And they both have their own businesses. And actually, my father has been asking me to join his business. And I said, no way, I have no interest to work with my father, nor did I have interest to work in coal or products, or it just seemed very dirty and not interesting, not the future. Right? I was just in cars and, doing all sorts of things. And I did join the business over 20 years ago now. And then after I joined, I actually then did my PhD in economics, energy economics in Germany. looking at the global energy business and coal business, the demand supply side. So more from economic point of view, macroeconomic point of view, finance point of view. Our main business has been or is raw material trade. We do have also assets that we are developing in South Africa, in Europe, in Asia. So it's a very global business that I'm very, very fortunate and very, very happy to have joined. It's absolutely incredible the things that I can see. What Paul was saying, that that I can see all these things worldwide, different countries, nations that consume or buy energy products, nations that sell energy products, how it is produced, how it is processed, how it is transported. And of course, I have a bit of an academic interest in various aspects. And for me, my recommendation is, in general, for young people who are interested in energy, is to really first get a fundamental basic understanding. But even if you don't, I got it later as well. I didn't know these things before, right? But I think thermodynamics is one of those key things, because you think about it, today's energy is 70-80% based on thermodynamic principles, probably more actually. So when you understand those, you have a large basis. Then of course there's a whole geology issue, which is large in energy related issues. And then there's the whole processing, material science, processing science, manufacturing science, about actually building infrastructure, because energy is infrastructure. It's long, big infrastructure, centralized infrastructure. And then, of course, there's the IT aspect as well, because it is becoming more modern, it's becoming IT regulated. But I think wherever you come from, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, if you have an interest in this, try to get a glimpse of and understand, be open. The world of energy is complex. It's hugely interesting because it's the basis of everything. Literally, people always say, yeah, energy is only 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% of the GDP globally. I'm like, yes and no, because actually energy is not part of the economy. Energy is the economy, right? It is the basis of the economy. And to work in such a fundamental business is, for me at least, very, very gratifying, and I'm very happy to do that. And I hope that what Nandi was mentioning is that also universities will be able to get more funding for energy education. I can only say that the universities I studied at, they're all lacking energy education. I'm trying to bring energy education to those universities to say, listen, just the fundamental basics are missing. And when you are one of those people who are doing that, you will be up the curve, because very few people think about this today, right? Today, it's AI is cool and this is cool and whatever. But in the end, when you are one of those people who understands the technical basics of this and understands some of those geological issues, as well as the construction issues, the raw material issues, and of course the thermodynamic issues, I think you are ahead of the curve, and you have a long future ahead, especially in a country like South Africa.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much to all of our guests. Some really great insights, and I think what really gets highlighted is that it's such a broad industry, it's a broad sector, in fact, and that you can really find yourself fitting in anywhere. Start where you are, start with, increasing your knowledge. I think what is really important and what's really coming through is that you really need to take the time to study further, learn further, even if you aren't necessarily at a university, but read more, get the necessary books, get the necessary insights, understand the broader sector better, because then you can be able to find where you best fit. And a point that we've been making along in most of these segment episodes is that it doesn't necessarily mean you need to have an engineering background to find yourself in the energy sector. What it is whatever qualification that you have, if you're able to make the connection to see, as Dr. Lars has rightly put it, energy is the economy. Energy is the ultimate enabler. So whatever it is that you're actually currently doing in your life right now, it does intersect with the energy sector. It's about taking the opportunity to just see how that intersection plays out and how you can slot yourself in. And with that, I would like to end this episode of the Energy Career segment and thank my guests so much for sharing of their time, sharing of their journeys, and sharing of their experience. Until next time, thank you.
Thank you for tuning into Energy Careers, where we explore the endless possibilities in the energy sector. Don't miss out on future episodes where we'll feature more inspiring journeys and insights on how to embark on your own energy career path. Subscribe now to the Energy Conversations podcast and unlock the door to exciting opportunities in the dynamic world of energy. Your journey begins here.